Hello everyone, and welcome to History of the Ancient World. When you think of ancient Egypt, what comes to mind? Majestic pyramids piercing the sky, colossal statues of pharaohs, and grand temples that have stood for millennia. These aren't just beautiful relics of a bygone era. They are testaments to one of the most brilliant engineering civilizations in human history. For thousands of years, long before the invention of modern machinery, the ancient Egyptians moved mountains, tamed rivers, and built structures so precise and enduring that they continue to baffle engineers today. How did they do it? What secrets were locked in the minds of their architects and builders? Today, we're journeying back in time to uncover the incredible engineering feats of ancient Egypt. From the quarries of Aswan to the top of the Great Pyramid, let's explore the tools, techniques, and sheer ingenuity that built an empire. The story of Egyptian engineering begins with the lifeblood of their civilization, the Nile River. The Nile was both a blessing and a curse. Its annual floods brought fertile silt, making agriculture possible, but they were also unpredictable and destructive. The Egyptians' first great engineering challenge was to control this mighty river. They developed a sophisticated system of basin irrigation, constructing a network of earthen banks to trap the floodwaters and canals to direct them to their fields. They also created nilometers, stone staircases, or pillars with markings to measure the river's water levels. This data was crucial. It allowed them to predict the flood's intensity, calculate taxes based on expected harvests, and prepare for potential droughts or devastating floods. This mastery over water wasn't just about farming. It was the foundation of their entire society, allowing them to organize labor, manage resources, and plan for the future. It was this large-scale project management that would pave the way for their most ambitious constructions. Of course, no discussion of Egyptian engineering is complete without the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for the pharaoh Khufu, is the most famous. It stood as the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It's composed of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, some weighing as much as 80 tons. The sheer scale is mind-boggling. So how did they move these massive stones? The process started at the quarries, sometimes hundreds of miles away. Workers used dolerite pounders, harder than the limestone and granite they were quarrying, to bash out the blocks. They also chiseled grooves into the rock, inserted wooden wedges, and soaked them with water. As the wood expanded, it cracked the rock along the desired lines. It was a slow, labor-intensive process, but incredibly effective. Once the blocks were freed, transporting them was the next great hurdle. The Egyptians were masters of logistics. They used the Nile as a superhighway, loading the heavy stones onto massive wooden barges and floating them to the construction site. An ancient papyrus, the diary of a man named Merer, provides a first-hand account of this process, describing how his crew transported limestone blocks from the Tura quarries to Giza via a system of specially constructed canals that brought the water right up to the base of the pyramid plateau. For overland transport, evidence suggests they used large wooden sledges. A famous tomb painting from the Middle Kingdom shows a colossal statue being pulled by over 170 men. Crucially, a person is shown pouring water on the sand in front of the sledge. This simple act reduced friction dramatically, making it possible to drag immense weights across the desert. It was a low-tech solution, but a brilliantly effective one. Now for the ultimate question, how did they get the blocks up the pyramid? The exact method remains a topic of debate among historians and engineers, as the Egyptians left no explicit records. The most widely accepted theory involves the use of ramps. But what kind of ramp? A single, long, straight ramp would have been impractically enormous, eventually becoming longer than the pyramid was tall. More likely, they used a combination of ramp systems. One popular theory proposes a straight ramp for the lower levels, followed by a spiral ramp that corkscrewed around the outside of the pyramid as it grew taller. Another suggests an internal ramp system, a theory supported by recent thermal scans of the Great Pyramid that have detected some intriguing anomalies inside the structure. Whatever the precise method, it required incredible mathematical precision and organizational skill. The pyramid's 4 faces are aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions, and the base is astonishingly level. The builders achieved this with simple but ingenious tools: plumb bobs for vertical lines, square levels for horizontal surfaces, and possibly water-filled trenches to establish a perfectly flat foundation. Beyond the pyramids, Egyptian engineering prowess is evident in their temples, like those at Karnak and Luxor. These complexes weren't built in a single lifetime, but were expanded by successive pharaohs over centuries. Here the challenge was not just height, but also intricate detail and massive scale. Think of the great hypostyle hall at Karnak, a forest of 134 colossal columns, each over 70 feet tall. Lifting the massive stone lintels, some weighing 70 tons, to the top of these columns was an incredible feat. It's believed they used massive earthen and mud brick ramps, slowly building them up as the columns rose, dragging the lintels into place, and then dismantling the ramps once the roof was complete. The precision is astonishing. The columns are decorated with intricate hieroglyphs, carved with copper chisels and stone tools. The alignment of these temples often had astronomical significance, designed so that sunlight would illuminate specific chapels or statues on important dates, like the solstice or the pharaoh's birthday. This required a deep understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and architectural planning. Their engineering skills also extended to more personal monuments, like the obelisks. These are single, monolithic pillars of granite that were quarried in Aswan, carved, and then transported hundreds of miles down the Nile to be erected in front of temples. The unfinished obelisk still lies in its quarry in Aswan, cracked during its excavation. It gives us a priceless glimpse into their methods. Had it been completed, it would have weighed nearly 1,200 tons. Raising such a massive, slender stone to a vertical position without it snapping is an engineering puzzle. It's thought they built a massive ramp up to a pre-built, funnel-shaped pedestal filled with sand. The obelisk would be dragged up the ramp and positioned over the funnel. Then workers would slowly release the sand, allowing the base of the obelisk to gently and carefully slide down into its final, perfectly vertical position. The legacy of ancient Egyptian engineering is not just in the monuments they left behind, but in the knowledge they pioneered. They were masters of project management, capable of organizing and feeding a workforce of tens of thousands of people for decades. They developed practical mathematics to solve real-world problems, from calculating the volume of a pyramid to surveying land. Their simple tools, combined with an unparalleled understanding of logistics, leverage, and materials, allowed them to achieve what seems impossible even today. They literally shaped their world with little more than stone, wood, copper, and an inexhaustible supply of human ingenuity. Their work has inspired awe for millennia and continues to remind us of the incredible potential of human collaboration and vision. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the engineering marvels of ancient Egypt. What part of their genius impresses you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to History of the Ancient World for more deep dives into our fascinating past. We'll see you next time.